Frida Kahlo died on July 13, 1954, but the truth about her final days was never revealed. No autopsy was done, and her nurse found 11 empty pill bottles beside her bed, even though she had been prescribed only 7. Just a few days before, she gave Diego their anniversary ring a month early and told him she felt she would leave soon. Her last diary entry read, "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." The official cause of death was a pulmonary embolism, but hospital records suggested otherwise. What really happened in that blue house remains a mystery. Frida was born in 1907 but claimed she was born in 1910 so people would think her life began with the Mexican Revolution. Her father, Karl Wilhelm Kahlo, had come from Germany after a head injury left him with seizures and memory problems. He changed his name to Guillermo and became a government photographer. Her mother, Matilda, came from a strict Catholic family but had many personal struggles. Life at home was full of secrets, sickness, and financial problems. Her father sometimes exchanged photos for food, and Frida later learned he had Jewish roots and escaped anti-Semitic violence. Growing up between different religions and cultures gave Frida a unique view of herself, which appeared in her art. Their house, La Casa Azul, looked cheerful on the outside but was filled with sadness inside. Her father's seizures frightened her, and as a child, she learned to care for him. The blue walls were meant to calm him and hide the blood from his falls. In the back of the house, he developed photographs of dead bodies for extra money, and Frida saw them all. 2 of her brothers died as infants, and her mother never recovered from the pain. When Frida was 6, she got polio, which left one of her legs thinner and shorter. Children mocked her, and she spent 9 months in bed, talking to an imaginary friend behind the mirror. Her father gave her a paint box to comfort her. The illness twisted her spine, and she would suffer pain for the rest of her life. Frida was tough. At 15, she entered the National Preparatory School, one of only a few girls among thousands of boys. Her father sacrificed 3 months of pay to send her there. She joined a rebellious student group called Los Cachuchas, where she met her first boyfriend, Alejandro Gomez Arias. She learned about politics and Marxism and rejected religion after violent conflicts between students in the church. At 18, her life changed forever. On September 17, 1925, she and Alejandro were in a bus crash. A steel handrail went through her body, breaking her spine, pelvis, leg, ribs, and shoulder. Doctors didn't think she would survive, and she could never have children again. While bedridden, her mother placed a mirror above her so she could paint herself. That's when she began painting seriously. She said, "I paint myself because that's what I know best." Over the years, Frida had dozens of surgeries, lived with constant pain, and became addicted to painkillers and alcohol. In 1928, she met Diego Rivera, a famous painter 21 years older than her. She boldly showed him her paintings, and he was deeply impressed. They married in 1929, though her mother called it a marriage between an elephant and a dove. Their relationship was full of love, art, fights, and betrayal. Frida's art reflected her suffering. In Detroit, in 1932, she miscarried and nearly died. She turned that trauma into her painting Henry Ford Hospital, showing herself bleeding and surrounded by strange symbols. Her paintings told her life story through symbols of pain, death, and identity. Diego often cheated, even with her sister Christina. Frida was heartbroken and began her own affairs with men and women, including artist Isamu Noguchi. In 1938, she had her first solo show in New York, where her work sold well. But she refused to be called a surrealist, saying, "I never painted dreams. I painted my own reality." Her most famous painting, The Two Fridas, came in 1939 after her divorce from Diego. It showed 2 versions of herself, one strong and one bleeding, connected by a single artery. Despite their separation, they remarried in 1940 and stayed together until her death. Frida became a teacher in 1943, though her health kept her in bed most of the time. Her students, known as Los Fridos, came to her house for lessons. She inspired them with her honesty and strength. Even when trapped in a steel corset, she kept painting her pain. The Broken Column, one of her most famous works, shows her body split open and held together by nails and tears. Throughout her life, Frida was passionate about politics. She and Diego supported the Communist Party and sheltered exiled revolutionary Leon Trotsky in their home, with whom she had a brief affair. Later, she supported Stalin and painted him as a hero. Her political beliefs showed in her paintings and actions. Frida continued working through unbearable pain. Her leg was amputated in 1953 due to gangrene, but she decorated her prosthetic leg with bright colors and embroidery. She joked, "Feet, what do I need them for when I have wings to fly?" Even after losing her leg, she painted almost daily despite morphine addiction and fading health. In her final months, she painted Viva la Vida, a bright painting of watermelons that celebrated life even as she was dying. She attended her last protest just days before her death, waving a flag from her wheelchair. She died on July 13, 1954, at 47 years old. No autopsy was done, and some believe she intentionally overdosed on painkillers. Her funeral was held at the Palacio de Bellas Artes in Mexico City. Over 600 people came to say goodbye. A student placed a red communist flag over her coffin, shocking the crowd but honoring her beliefs. Diego later turned their home, La Casa Azul, into a museum. Her ashes still rest there today. For years, Frida Kahlo was remembered only as Diego Rivera's wife. But as time passed, people began to see her for who she truly was, a woman who turned her pain into art, who fought for her beliefs, and who painted her truth no matter how dark it was. Her diary, published in 1995, revealed the depth of her suffering, love, and courage. Frida lived and died in pain, but her art made her eternal.